It's Turkey. It's Turkey. It's Turkey. It's Turkey.
Hey there, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Pastatime with the Scaryish Podcast.
Woo.
Just redo it, because that's...
You were moving your mic the whole intro, so I'm like, we're going to have to redo it anyways. Are you going to redo it?
Yeah.
Well, then redo it.
Hello, spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Pastatime with the Scaryish Podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, this is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And today, we're here to read you folks some creepypastas.
Indeed we are. Creepypastas are the short fictional stories. Well, they're not always short. We try and read the short ones that have been posted on the internet in different places like Creepypasta. Also, No Sleep Reddit. We go to the SCP Foundation sometimes, which in retrospect, I kind of wish we would have done tonight. And then we also get some sent to us by the wonderful spooky friend community. Robin, if someone had a short fictional story they would like to send, or they would like to recommend a pre-existing short fictional story that exists currently, how could they talk to us? You
can email us at storytimeatscaryish, You can email us at pastatime@scaryish.com. You can also go to our website, which is scaryish.com. There's a contact us page. You fill that out, and it gets to us that way. You can also contact us on all our social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I think that's it.
Yeah, all the fun places. So I'm going to be going first. I'm going to be reading a relatively long one and then a short one tonight. So my first one is going to be called The Tulpa. But before I get into it, I'm going to mark it and just talk to the wonderful folks watching us live. So yeah, we've barely eaten dinner. It's been the craziest day. Robin is still going through her phone to determine which one she's going to be reading. So if it seems like she's looking down, that is why. I just want to let you folks know, so you're not like, why isn't Robin paying attention? She is paying attention. She's paying super attention. She'll be listening to me while also picking her stories. So that is what's going on. Also, we'll do the drinks after I read the story. But I'm going to mark it and get...
I haven't even had time to change or...
I didn't even put on my fucking button up again.
Literally walked in the door 10 minutes ago. Less than 10 minutes ago. So...
Yes, this is why we're starting at 6:35 tonight.
Yeah.
So, all right. Going to mark it, and we're going to go ahead and I'll read this first story. And hopefully, when it's all said and done, whatever horrible things that have occurred will have calmed everyone. So, The Tulpa. Last year, I spent 6 months participating in what I was told was a psychological experiment. I found an ad in my local paper looking for imaginative people looking to make good money, and since it was the only ad that week that I was remotely qualified for, I gave them a call and we arranged an interview. They told me that all I would have to do is stay in a room, alone, with sensors attached to my head to read my brain activity. And while I was there, I would visualize a double of myself. They called it my Tulpa. It seemed easy enough, and I agreed to do it as soon as they told me how much I would be paid. And the next day, I began. They brought me to a simple room and gave me a bed, then attached sensors to my head and hooked them into a little black box on the table beside me. They talked me through the process of visualizing my double again and explained that if I got bored or restless, instead of moving around, I should visualize my double moving around or try to interact with him, and so on. The idea was to keep him with me the entire time I was in the room. I had trouble with it the first few days. It was more controlled than any sort of daydreaming I'd done before. I'd imagine my double for a few minutes, then grow distracted. But by the 4th day, I could manage to keep him, quote-unquote, present for the entire 6 hours. They told me I was doing very well. The second week, they gave me a different room with wall-mounted speakers. They told me they wanted to see if I could still keep the Tulpa with me in spite of distracting stimuli. The music was discordant, ugly, and unsettling, and it made the process a little more difficult, but I managed nonetheless. Excuse me. The next week, they played even more unsettling music, punctuated with shrieks, feedback loops, what sounded like an old-school modem dialing up, and guttural voices speaking some foreign language. I just laughed it off. I was a pro by then. At this point, if this is me, these are red flags. They're clearly summoning a demon with whatever I'm doing, and that's what that weird language is. After about a month, I started to get bored. To liven things up, I started interacting with my doppelganger. We'd have conversations or play rock, paper, scissors, or I'd imagine him juggling or breakdancing or whatever caught my fancy. I asked the researchers if my foolishness would adversely affect their study, but they encouraged me. So we played and communicated, and that was fun for a while. And then it got a little strange. I was telling him about my first date one day, and he corrected me. I'd said my date was wearing a yellow top, and he told me it was a green one. I thought about it for a second and realized he was right. It creeped me out, and after my shift that day, I talked to the researchers about it. You're using the thought form to access your subconscious, they explained. You know on some level that you were wrong, and you subconsciously corrected yourself. What had been creepy was suddenly cool. I was talking to my subconscious. It took some practice, but I found that I could question my tulpa and access all sorts of memories. I could make it quote whole pages of books I'd read once, years before, or things I was taught and immediately forgot in high school. It was awesome. Can you imagine having a tulpa with you when you're taking a test or something like that, where you can constantly just imagine yourself talking to it and it's giving you all the answers?
That'd be great.
That would be amazing. That was around the time I started, quote unquote, calling up my double outside of the research center. Not often at first, but I was so used to imagining him by now that it almost seemed odd to not see him. So whenever I was bored, I'd visualize my double. Eventually, I started doing it almost all the time. It was amusing to take him along like an invisible friend. I imagined him when I was hanging out with friends or visiting my mom. I even brought him along on a date once. I didn't need to speak aloud to him, so I was able to carry out conversations with him, and no one was the wiser. I know that sounds strange, but it was fun. Not only was he a walking repository of everything I knew and everything I had forgotten, but he also seemed more in touch with me than I did at times. He had an uncanny grasp of the minutiae of body language that I didn't even realize I was picking up on. For example, I thought the date I brought him along on was going badly, but he pointed out how she was laughing a little too hard at my jokes and leaning towards me as I spoke, and a bunch of other subtle clues that I wasn't consciously picking up on. I listened, and let's say that that date went very well. That's all it says, but I mean, obviously, you know, you got to read it in that voice. That date went very well. By the time I'd been at the research center for 4 months, he was with me constantly. The researchers approached me one day after my shift and asked me if I'd stopped visualizing him. I denied it, and they seemed pleased. I silently asked my double if he knew what prompted that, but he shrugged it off. So did I. I withdrew a little from the world at that point. I was having trouble relating to people. It seemed to me that they were so confused and unsure of themselves while I had a manifestation of myself to confer with. It made socializing awkward. Nobody else seemed aware of the reasons behind their actions, why some things made them mad and others made them laugh. They didn't know what moved them, but I did, or at least I could ask myself and get an answer. A friend confronted me one evening. He pounded the door until I answered it and came in fuming and swearing up a storm. "You haven't answered when I called you in fucking weeks, you dick," he yelled. "What is your fucking problem?" I was about to apologize to him and probably would have offered to hit the bars with him that night, but my tulpa grew suddenly furious. "Hit him," it said. And before I knew what I was doing, I had. I heard his nose break. He fell to the floor and came up swinging, and we beat each other up and down my apartment. I was more furious than I had ever been, and I was not merciful. I knocked him to the ground and gave him 2 savage kicks to the ribs, and that was when he fled, hunched over and sobbing. The police were by a few minutes later, but I told them that he had been the instigator, and since he wasn't around to refute me, they let me off with a warning. I don't know about that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, if you say, like, self-defense, this is my place, and they ran away, they would be like, okay, we're going to investigate further. I don't think they just write down, like, don't fight no mo, and then, like, hand you a ticket and say, like, warning. All right. Let's see, where was I at? Marking it. My tulpa was grinning the entire time. We spent the night why is this saying crowning? We spent the night crowing about my victory and sneering over how badly I'd beaten my friend. It wasn't until the next morning when I was checking out my black eye and cut lip in the mirror that I remembered what had set me off. My double was the one who'd grown furious, not me. I'd been feeling guilty and a little ashamed, but he'd goaded me into a vicious fight with a concerned friend. He was present, of course, and knew my thoughts. "You don't need him anymore. You don't need anyone else," he told me, and I felt my skin crawl. I explained all this to the researchers who employed me, but they just laughed it off. "You can't be scared of something that you're imagining," one told me. My double stood beside him and nodded his head, then smirked at me. I tried to take their words to heart, but over the next few days, I found myself growing more and more anxious around my tulpa, and it seemed that he was changing. He looked taller and more menacing. His eyes twinkled with mischief, and I saw malice in his constant smile. No job was worth losing my mind over, I decided. If he was out of control, I'd put him down. I was so used to him at that point that visualizing him was an automatic process, so I started trying my damnedest to not visualize him. It took a few days, but it started to work somewhat. I could get rid of him for hours at a time, but every time he came back, he seemed worse. His skin seemed ashen, his teeth more pointed. He hissed and gibbered and threatened and swore. The discordant music I'd been listening to for months seemed to accompany him everywhere. Even when I was at home, I'd relax and slip up, no longer concentrating on not seeing him, and there he'd be, and that howling noise with him. I was still visiting the research center and spending my 6 hours there. I needed the money, and I thought they weren't aware that I was now actively not visualizing my tulpa, but I was wrong. After my shift, one day, about 5.5 months in, two impressively men... It says impressively.
Strong men? Big men? Hot men?
Two impressively hot men grabbed and restrained me, and someone...
I'm going to assume it's strong.
I'm going to guess strong as well. And someone in a lab coat jabbed a hypodermic needle into me. I woke up from my stupor back in the room, strapped into the bed, music blaring, with my doppelganger standing over me cackling. He hardly looked human anymore. His features were twisted. His eyes were sunken in their sockets and filmed over like a corpse's. He was much taller than me, but he hunched over. His hands were twisted and the fingernails were like talons. He was, in short, fucking terrifying. I tried to will him away, but I just couldn't seem to concentrate. He giggled and tapped the IV in my arm. I thrashed in my restraints as best I could, but could hardly move at all. They're pumping you full of the good shit, I think. How's the mind?
What the what?
All fuzzy? He leaned closer and closer as he spoke. I gagged. His breath smelled like spoiled meat. I tried to focus, but couldn't banish him. The next few weeks were terrible. Every so often, someone in a doctor's coat would come in and inject me with something, or force feed me a pill. They kept me dizzy and unfocused, and sometimes left me hallucinating or delusional. My thought form was still present, constantly mocking. He interacted with, or perhaps caused, my delusion. My delusions? That's not the word. My delusions. I hallucinated that my mother was there, scolding me, and then he cut her throat and her blood showered me. It was so real that I could taste it. The doctors never spoke to me. That's fucked up. I begged at times, screamed, hurled... Like, what the fuck is this word? Hurled obscenities and demanded answers. They never spoke to me. They may have talked to my tulpa, my personal monster. I'm not sure. I was so doped and confused that it may have just been more delusion, but I remember them talking with him. I grew convinced that he was the real one and I was the thought form. He encouraged that line of thought at times and mocked me at others. Another thing that I pray was a delusion. Where the fuck is this word coming from? Delusion. I don't know why I'm saying it this way. Another thing that I pray was a delusion. He could touch me. More than that, he could hurt me. He'd poke and prod at me if he felt I wasn't paying enough attention to him. I know someone like that. Okay, this gets weird. Once he grabbed my testicles and squeezed until I told him I loved him.
What the, who wrote this shit?
I know someone like that. Another time, he slashed my forearm with one of his talons. No. I still have a scar. Most days, I can convince myself that I injured myself and just hallucinated that he was responsible. Most days. Then one day, while he was telling me a story about how he was going to gut everyone I loved, starting with my sister, he paused.
Whoever wrote this is a pretentious douchebag.
They clearly went to thesaurus.com and were just looking up thesaurus.com.
What is with
Because I was thinking Theodosia in my head. They clearly went to thesaurus.com and were looking up synonyms and just dropping them in because none of the other verbiage matches some of the adjectives, and it's really annoying. A strange look crossed his face and reached out. Yeah, and then they forget to write he.
All I can think of now is...
I don't want to hear it.
Dear Theodosia, but like Dear Theosaurus.
A strange look crossed his face, and he reached out and touched my head, like my mother used to do when I was feverish. He stayed still for a long moment, then smiled. All thoughts are creative, he told me. Then he walked out the door. 3 hours later, I was given an injection and passed out. I awoke unrestrained. Shaking, I made my way to the door and found it unlocked. I walked out into the empty hallway and then ran. I stumbled more than once, but I made it down the stairs and out into the lot behind the building. There, I collapsed, weeping like a child. I knew I had to keep moving, but I couldn't manage it. I got home eventually. I don't remember how. I locked the door and shoved a dresser against it, took a long shower, and slept for a day and a half.
I'm imagining the scene from Ace Ventura where he's in the shower
Yeah.
and sobbing.
Nobody came for me in the night, and nobody came the next day or the one after that. It was over. I'd spent a week locked in that room, but it had felt like a century. I'd withdrawn so much from my life beforehand that nobody had even known I was missing.
That's
The
so
police
sad.
didn't find anything. The research center was empty when they searched it. The paper trail fell apart. The names I'd given them were all aliases. Even the money I'd received was apparently untraceable.
What?
I recovered as much as one can. I don't leave the house much, and I have panic attacks when I do. I cry a lot. I don't sleep much, and my nightmares are terrible. It's over, I tell myself. I survived. I used the concentration those bastards taught me to convince myself. It works sometimes. But not today, though. 3 days ago, I got a phone call from my mother. There's been a tragedy. My sister's the latest victim in a spree of killings, the police say. The perpetrator mugs his victims, then guts them.
Fuck that.
The funeral was this afternoon. It was as lovely a service as a funeral can be, I suppose. I was a little distracted, though. All I could hear was music coming from somewhere distant. Discordant, unsettling stuff that sounds like feedback and shrieking and a modem dialing up. I hear it still, a little louder now.
So he's the one that's doing it.
I don't know if he's the one that's doing it, or they're like triggering him and it's happening, or he just hears it because this thing was there watching him at the funeral because he had already killed. So, like, it sounds like he's killed other things before his sister too.
Okay.
And it said he was going to start with his sister, so it sounds like the string of killings was like practicing, and then he got to the sister. But
okay.
Either way, this one's kind of crazy, written by Anonymous, and pretty fucked up.
Anonymous.
But I enjoyed it, so thank you to Anonymous for writing it. Pretty good stuff to start the show. Hopefully, good stuff in the way that murder can be good, because it's interesting when it's short fiction. So, yeah.
The Snark says he's become the subconscious.
I mean, he might be at this point, but it seems like he can come and take over every now and then. I do think that if he was the subconscious, he wouldn't have been able to go to the police and had them investigated, which is why I think it's like, I'm pretty sure the idea of a tulpa is it can be brought into existence through people concentrating on it. But I think the reason they kept him there for so long is because he had to concentrate on not having it exist. And if they kept him doped up, then the longer it could basically retain its form, it's almost like it was loading. And once it got to 100% completion, it was like, adios, fucker. Thanks for the invite to the world. So that's my interpretation. I don't know why I'm so stuffy right now.
Are you sick?
I might be sick. Who knows? I might have the con flu. I have COVID tests downstairs, but I don't think I'm going to need them.
Dear Theosaurus.
Fuck you, dude. I can't wait for you to fuck up one word. One word. All right, so we have a lot of chat to go through because we took a while to get on the air.
Cool.
Like Robin had said, she got home.
My stuff in Messenger.
Cool.
Hopefully.
She got home a little late, and it's not through any fault of her own. She got food on the way home. She picked up so we could try and eat.
Yeah.
Realistically,
but
we had to
Wendy's ever has fucking
baked potatoes.
Baked potatoes. Like, what the hell?
It's just been a challenging day, to say the least. So, all right, let me read the notifications first, and then we'll move over into the chat. So, scrolling back, shout out to Danny Muniz, who just followed us 3 days ago over there on Twitch. Shout out to Malum, who resubscribed yesterday using the Prime Gaming. That's me.
I gotta get a mixer.
Okay, bye. Shout out to Captain Vega, who resubscribed for the 25th month and said hello. Shout out to Glitchgrim, who resubscribed for the 28th month and said woo. That is all. LOL. Shout out to Elizabeth, who resubscribed for the 6th month and also said woo. Shout out to Enzo Matrix, who resubscribed for the 4th month and said woo woo. Adam's woo alternative last week. Shout out to Merlin Valor, who resubscribed for the 16th month. Shout out to Laura Ann, Glitchgrim, Captain Vega, Elizabeth, Enzo Matrix, and Nefcore, who all redeemed a drink. Shout out to Sherry Sue, who resubscribed for the 6th month and said, yes, I agree. I appreciate the dedication. Shout out to the Snarked, who resubscribed for the 32nd month. Shout out to the Cursed Wolf, who resubscribed for the 35th month and has the longest, loudest woo that I'm not going to yell out, but it's like, woo. I sound like a wolf. And shout out to Nefcore, who resubscribed for the 7th month and said, woo, 7 months and going strong. We love all of you guys. I'm going to scroll to the bottom and see some contextual stuff. Then I'm going to scroll to the top and see what I can skip past. So, All right, Laura answers I could go for a baked potato right now. Bree Ball says, sorry, I just joined. It's okay, we were late. We only got to the first story just now. Sherry Sue says, thanks, I appreciate that too. I'm what's for dinner. I'll scroll up because I'm jumping into the end of a conversation. I'm what's for dinner says, Adams, hello. For Captain Fig, I sound like Mrs. Doubtfire. That's kind of just how I read it. I'm Beef Train says, I wish I could eat. So far, the only thing I've been able to eat and not get sick is homemade guac. That's interesting that wouldn't trigger you. And Liz Tree says, food sounds good. Just realized Enzo Matrix and I seem to be skipping dinner tonight. I skipped dinner last night because I wasn't feeling well. And I woke up this morning and I was just not hungry. And then finally, when I was hungry, I was like, all right, now I'm going to eat a fucking horse, which I did not. Anyways, let's scroll up and see who the first person in either chat was. It was I'm What's for Dinner. Nope, that's not right. I think it's actually cut off some chat because we've been on for so long. Let's see if Twitch will show me who the first person was. Beep. Nope, it won't. So let's just say whoever was first. I'm pretty sure it was like right at 6. So shout out to you. We love you. And I'll just go from like when we started the show. Lots of folks are here. Lots of folks have joined us. We appreciate all of you for being here. I know Captain Fake Eye had a very busy night delivering babies. So
Delivering babies.
hopefully you're feeling better and you've rested.
Whew. All right.
And the Matrix apparently got a machine gun during the battles before the show.
Tonight, I have soju, so that's when I'm mixing my thing.
Captain Omega says there is also a junkyard burning somewhere in Philly and the entire city smells like burnt rubber. That is fucking gross. Scroll and Elizabeth Tree put hashtag Team No Fan. You're crazy. Jamie has joined us. What up, Jamie? Thank you for being here. Captain Omega said Team Hosted. Scrolling.
It's funny because I work at a ship plant, and today, while all of us were leaving, it just smelled so bad. It smelled so bad today, and normally it doesn't smell that bad, but it smelled real bad today, and we're all leaving like, oh my god, this smells so horrible. And then the guy leaving behind us goes like, man, smells like shit out here. And it's because it's literal shit. It smells like literal shit, dog. But
Shit
it was
dog.
just so fucking funny. Potty humor. Because it's poop.
IMB Trans says we had 4 call-offs at work that left us with an absolute skeleton crew and we were drowning. That sucks. Lots of folks look like they're getting disconnected from chat. That sounds like a Twitch thing.
Okay. Do we have any drinks that I have to drink?
Yeah, we have all 6.
Oh, shit.
Lizdry says, one of the patients at my facility recently threw a cigarette butt over a fence and caught a house on fire. That is fucking nuts. It was crazy, but at least it was minimal damage. Our insurance covered most of it.
Do you have to pay for that?
The insurance apparently does.
That's crazy.
I mean, because if you're in like a rehabilitation facility or whatever it is, and like one of your people that are in your facility causes damage, I mean, clearly you're going to be responsible for it. So, IMB Trans says the snark. Well, let's read what the snark said. Snark says, woof, I'm sorry, IMB Trans, that's awful. IMB Trans says, what's more awful is how rude people can be over things not being able to be accepted, like a damaged ID because it's a sign of it possibly having been altered.
That's fucked up.
People are just idiots. Like, that's what it comes down to. Captain Vega says, oh yeah, she told us about this too. Our hospital opened a new building and the emergency room is a good 12-minute walk from the labor floor. So much running while on call. That is such a bad idea.
Such a bad idea. Bad designing.
I'm What's Dinner says, I hate cigarettes with a burning passion. People have been smoking just outside my department at work, which means I have to walk through it multiple times a day. And as an asthmatic, that is very bad for my ability to breathe. Man, I grew up with so many people who smoked and just constantly told me that it wasn't bad for my health, that they were fucking breathing smoke into my face. And then, you know, I got to like 6'1" and became like, yeah, breathe smoke in my face again.
You
and
can get
never had
lung
that problem
cancer
again.
from
Yeah, and oh man, the amount of propaganda and shit that came out against like secondhand smoke when we were younger before they started banning smoking in certain areas, like planes and hospitals, was
all
just
those
bafflingly
messages
stupid.
came in at once.
Oh yeah, I didn't get anything from you today. Aw. Oh, your team crushed it. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Currently we can't see the chat because I've minimized it so I can get Robin's stuff ready to go. So don't mind me. I'm just gonna be sitting here highlighting stuff and pasting
I'm just
stuff.
a curious little rhino.
Don't mind me. Just a curious little rhino.
I love... Oh, and the credit, too. I love Ace Ventura way too much. I think my sister and I used to watch Nature Calls way too many times. But when you're a kid...
It's just so funny.
When you're a kid, you don't realize how inappropriate some of the jokes are.
Plus, the whole entire first movie is based off, like, massive transphobia. But that's the thing, too. It's like, if you really want to talk about that, it's like, they don't dislike Einhorn because she is a male pretending to be a female to hide from the law. They dislike Einhorn because Einhorn is
a raging bitch,
a lunatic and a murderer, on top of the fact that her cover is a raging bitch. Although, yeah, it's pretty transphobic in spots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I need you to... I got it. I can reach. Make it big. All right, your first one's 6 pages also.
Is that good? Bad? I don't know.
I mean, I had a 6-page one, and then I'm going to have a 1-page one.
What?
So.
1 page?
Oh my god, all of yours are so long. It's going to be the longest fucking Pastatime of all time. Did you check to see if we need to ask her permission to read any of these?
Nope.
You never do.
Nope.
That's why I always pick anonymous. Makes it a lot easier.
Hip Hop? Hip Hop Anonymous?
One day, people will be like, hey, take my shit off your thing. And I'll be like, all right. And then we'll have to delete all these Pastatime episodes that have copyright violations.
Oh. You just cut the stories out.
So you'd basically just delete the episode because there'd be no point to keep an episode that's like, so we're going to read 4 stories tonight. And those have been our stories. Thank you for joining us. Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to reach my keyboard and there's so much shit in the way. Like my microphone, Robin's food. Ugh. Well, maybe talk to the people while I'm doing this. Make it really easy for me.
I can't read.
Okay, you can talk though, right? Like I've been doing this whole freaking time. If you want to narrate the story, please contact the author by clicking here.
Oh. Well, let me look for a different one.
Unreal
Engine. Damn.
All right, I'm going to scroll and just read what the wonderful folks have had to say. All right. Glitch said, fuck it, let's do it live. Dinosaur says, I felt that sad woo, lol.
Oh no, that's so sad.
I know, it sucks. Cool. Gonna keep scrolling. Hailstorm says, they're talking about scams. MQI says, Robin, you are glowing tonight.
Thank you. I'm exhausted.
J Valor says, hey, what up, J Valor? Thank you for joining us. Maya says, hi, what's up? How are you guys? Doing okay. Very busy, very, very, very busy day. I took off.
It's a busy month. It's nonstop.
Yeah. And realistically, like, I took off 6 days, 6 work days, which means not last Friday, but the Friday before that was my first day it was my last day at work. But I typically like check in at work Saturday, Sunday, and then I missed all of the week, and then Saturday and Sunday again. And then Monday was a travel day from hell. So it's like I got back to work yesterday and it was just nothing but shit waiting for me. And it was really stressful. And then today I had a bunch of meetings, so all this stuff I've been trying to catch up on, I've had very little time to do. And then I had a meeting that's supposed to be from like 4:30 to 5 that lasted until like 5:30. And God, such a pain in the ass. The Snark says, ew, Cowboys, ew. At least they're good this year.
They lost last week.
They lost last week, but hey, that'll happen. You can't win them all. The Bears also lost last week, but I mean, that's kind of expected because Matt Nagy's their coach. Although
I'm from Texas.
Justin Field looked really fucking good that game. Lizard says, about to watch the stream on our new 65-inch 4K TV. Nice. Jay Valor says, staying busy working. What about you, Tamaya? Gonna keep scrolling. It's nice seeing folks talk to each other. Enzo Matrix says, to me and Robin, thank you for being so dedicated to the Spooky Fam. Most people just cancel and do it later, or just wait till next time. Here you are being the true badasses that you are. Thank you.
Have you done this one?
Honestly, it was just like, let's just delay the stream, which we've not done. I don't think I've done it, but I have the Scaryish window up so I can check all of our stories.
Control F. I'm pretty sure you did this one, actually.
You're going to have to Control F it over there. Hang on, let me scroll to the bottom.
Guys, it's been a rough month so
Type in
far.
never. No. Just type in never. Bless you.
Thank you.
Never. Uh-oh. A Pastatime episode. Yep, we've done it.
Damn it. I was like, I'm pretty sure you have. But this month is just like a non-stop, every single day.
Non-stop.
There's something. Like, I have senior design going on right now. So I'm working on my senior design project, which is redesigning a detention basin. And so that's a lot of meetings. And I've been skirting my meetings. I haven't even been going to my meetings because I've been doing anime conventions every single weekend, just about, for the past couple weeks. And
we're going camping on this weekend. Next weekend, they have an anime convention that I can't even go to because I'm recording Wheel of Time shit all weekend, which I'm really excited for, actually. The weekend after that is Thanksgiving, and we leave Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, we leave Thanksgiving Day to go to California because we have San Diego Comic-Con that we're going to. And which I know it's like a lot of first world problems, right?
We're not complaining about it. We're just stating it's busy. It's
just busy.
Cat in Vegas says, thank you, Adam and Robin. You guys really don't need to thank us. I mean, you're here, and we thank you for actually being here. Lauren says, yes, thank you for your dedication. You guys are awesome. We appreciate that. And Matrix says, I think we need a Ric Flair woo to reset the energy. I'm good. I'm happy. It's fun. Cat in Vegas says, Watson is now coming to join watching the stream. Let's just absorb that Watson energy. Chunk says, I'm late, but I'm here. Hello, what up, Chunkster? We were late too, so no big deal. Gonna keep scrolling. Cat in Vegas says, I am not a sex vampire at Snarked, but it's fun to play one in an RPG. That's funny. Gonna keep scrolling. That's funny. Maya says, I just got home and now ordering groceries for tomorrow pickup. Nice. Scrolling. Cat in Vegas says he's lying on my shoulder and appreciates the pats. That's so cute. And B-Train says, and much appreciation for Adam and Robin for this community. I love the Spooky Fam. We love the Spooky Fam as well, and it's so nice to hear you all say nice stuff. It really is. Let's keep scrolling here.
This says 9 minutes, but it's a lot of dialogue.
Oh my god, pick a fucking short one. There are so many short ones. I hate you so much. Sherry Sue said something that someone replied to, so I'm going to scroll up. Jamie says, you guys saw Hamilton live. How was it? It was very, very good. It's obviously not as good as the OG cast that you can watch on Disney+, but they did an excellent job. Not everyone is as strong of a singer. Some people are stronger singers than the OG cast.
This one says less than a minute.
Less than a minute. There you go. I think mine was 2 minutes, so that's fine. That's perfect. Sherry Sue says, I'm not enjoying working at a preschool. I'd rather find a job working from home. Okay, so that's what it was. IMB Trainer says, I'm sorry you're having a tough time at your preschool. Enzo Matrix, what?
How many drinks have you had?
I've had one, because I've been reading.
Okay, I think I've had 3.
Cool. I'm going to give it to you, then you can read now. I'm just going to do some drinking then. I left off with IMB Trainer sending hugs to Sherry Sue.
You got to grab my story from the thing.
Yeah, I know. You have your other story there already, so just go ahead and read some of the stuff these wonderful people have sent to us.
All right. Scroll. Let's see. That's where I read last, where I saw the Snark saying he's become the subconscious. Breeball says, sorry, just joined. Welcome. You just missed the first story. We're talking a bunch of filler because I need to get my shit together. Laura says I could go for a baked potato right now. Well, let me tell you, Wendy's has none of them. I went to a baked potato. Fucking baked potato. I went to a Wendy's this afternoon at like noon to get a baked potato in one side of town. And then I went tonight to get a fucking baked potato at like 5:30, 5:45, maybe 6 o'clock on a different side of town. No baked potatoes. Like, what the fuck? It's not that hard to go get like a 30-pound bag of fucking potatoes. Like, oh my God, it just drives me fucking nuts. I just want a baked potato so fucking bad. I guess I could make it myself, but
God, it's so strong.
The Snark says, my face hurts. Went to the dentist today, and he's the hottest dentist I've ever had. Never had a hot dentist before.
I haven't either. I've always had like, the only dentist I can remember is the one I had growing up, and he was super old. He was always so old. And yeah, that's all I ever see when I picture dentist.
Rothman says, sorry it smelled so bad. Just flushed my toilet today. Adam, too, said the same joke where he's like, man, must have been my shit from earlier.
Can't believe I didn't even put on my button up. Second week in a row.
Wow, you forgot?
Yep.
It's all right. We both look like shit today. I still have my freaking sunglasses
apparently
on.
I look like shit today.
No.
Fuck you.
That's not what I meant. but okay.
I'm not wearing a cowboy shirt, but whatever. I'm on 3 drinks.
All right. Pink Penguin says just came out of depressive. Fuck.
Slow down.
Pink Penguin says just came out of a depressive episode, and I'm teetering on the edge of falling back into it. Glad to have the stream. Hopefully, we help keep your mind off things for a little bit. Breeball says I just watched the Cowboys for the cheerleaders. Isn't that every football game? They all got cheerleaders.
And Pink Penguin, just to let you know, like that is a common thing. I teetered really hard this weekend while we were at the con, even though it was like the most fun weekend we've ever had. And then like the day I got home, I was working. I was just like, man, I hate everything right now. I was like, I could go hide in a dark room and not do anything for God knows how long. And I just talked about it with Robin a little bit and just accepted the fact that this is how I feel, and then went to bed early. And I feel better today. So I understand it, and you're not alone.
Captain Fake Eye says, I love the little Hamilton quotes. I got a Hamilton pillow at this anime convention we had an artist table at this past weekend because Adam wanted a poster.
It was an Adventure Zone poster, which she was not allowed to sell.
Yeah.
She can only give away as a free gift.
Sell Adventure Zone stuff. So I walked over there with him because he really wanted this poster. And I was like, I don't want other posters. So I asked the artist, I was like, hey, if I get a pillow, will you give him the poster? And she's like, yeah, we can work that out. And so I got a Hamilton pillow because why not? And it's just this cute chibi of Hamilton, and it has
not thrown away.
Yeah, on the back it has like the quote, I'm not throwing away my shot, and it says A.Ham, which is so cute.
I wanted her to get the Lafayette pillow because on the back it said, who's the best? C'est moi. And I was like, oh fuck, I love it. Shout out to Francisco who's over there on Facebook, says, what's going on?
We could have gotten both.
Just recording pasta time.
Pasta time.
All right. I also got a new set of dice, which are somewhere around here on my desk. I don't know where they went.
There's one right there.
Yeah, this is them. I mean, they're not the best dice. I mean, they're just standard, but they're a color I didn't have before. And I mean, it doesn't really show up well on camera. Let me take them out of the box. But they're like glitter gray and teal with red lettering. So, and I got a D20 for $10, but it's one of those metal D20s that come in the sets that are like $50-$60. So.
Lisbeth Tree says, "Twat's a twat."
It's not gonna focus, but that's okay. But you get the idea. And I don't even roll them. I roll digital dice, but I wanted to buy something.
The Snark says, "Wait, I have potatoes and an oven. Ooh, bring over some baked potatoes."
Say, like, it's not hard to make a baked potato.
Captain Big Eye says baked potato shortage apparently. I don't get it, man. I even made a joke. I was like, what is this? The Irish potato famine right now? Like, what the fuck? Actually, I think during the Irish potato famine, isn't it all they had to eat was potatoes?
No.
Oh, it's the opposite. Okay.
I mean, they also didn't have much to eat. Someone said, scroll up. Oh, no, it's right there. Pink Penguin said, is the Wendy's baked potato the sibling of the McDonald's ice cream machine?
I'm telling you, every single time I go to Wendy's, they never have baked potatoes. It doesn't matter what fucking time of day it is. They never have baked potatoes. Take it off the fucking menu. The day that I did get a baked potato months ago, I was like, holy crap, it's a miracle. They actually have potatoes.
Merlin Bauer says, do you guys have Jason's Delis in Vegas? We have one.
No, we have more than one.
That I've gone to that's nearby. I don't know where any of the other ones are. And I haven't been there in like 8 or 9 years. I remember it being good. Everyone used to talk about it all the time. Listener says the Irish potato famine was horrible and killed about 25% of the Irish population. Exactly. I listener says, I asked around my work and apparently no one in my department has ever heard of Du Hast or Rammstein.
What?
I think I'm the old man of my department. That is pretty shocking.
I mean, I feel like Rammstein's old enough where it really is something that kids these days don't go out of their way to listen to.
Kids these days.
But I totally went through that phase in high school where I was like, Rammstein is the shit.
I don't remember when I first heard Rammstein. I remember the first Triple X movie came out. That's when my friends heard Rammstein.
I remember someone made... I used to really, really, really like Witch Hunter Robin. And there was a music video, like an anime music video of clips from the anime, right? Synced up to Firefly, I think, because she uses fire. That's her magic.
That's the song they played at the beginning of Triple X.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Fire, bang, bang.
We obviously don't speak German.
Nope.
My sister could probably be like, no, wrong accent. it was really strange because when we moved from Hawaii to Texas for high school, she took German, I took American Sign Language. We had both taken Japanese, so it was something that was completely different. But she, was just like, German's the greatest thing ever. This is awesome. So she took it in high school there in Texas, and then she went to college and took it in college. In high school, she won, awards for German or something like that, and I was like, what the fuck?
Cool.
I was not that cool.
So here's what I'm suggesting. So we can have the commercial break properly. You should read your short one since I already read my long one. Then we'll come back and you can read your long one, and then I'll finish this up with my short one.
All right.
Sound good? Sounds good. Everyone says it sounds good.
You're going to have to repeat it to me again.
You're going to read your short one.
Okay.
We're going to take a commercial break.
Okay.
Come back.
Okay.
You read your long one.
Got it.
Ready? Break.
Okay.
The food smells good and I'm hungry.
Yeah, Liz made that and left it in the fridge.
I was wondering who made it. I have 2 more drinks to drink before I am done with my drinks. Ellen says, R.I.P. DMX. And Hailstorm says, Robin, you know ASL?
I know some. I know how to spell, but
I know this one.
I love you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I
think this is no,
they can't see your hands.
No, I'm trying to remember.
This is Shaka Bra.
I don't know. And it's weird because you could do the same motions with your arms and hands, and depending on what your hands are doing, it's totally different. So if you have your hand like this and doing this, it's one thing, or like this doing is a different thing. It's weird. It's so weird.
Snark says, "This is my dream to talk shit in ASL." I feel like after I've seen these interpreters who do WAP.
No, the Eminem concert.
Yeah, stuff like that. If I talk shit in ASL, it would be very clear I'd be talking shit because I'd be just tossing out everything and mixing in middle fingers and fuck you and throwing it in your face, and it would definitely come through as what I was saying. So anyways, let me know when you're ready to read.
Yeah, let me take one more drink. Aw, Hailstorm says, I'm going to college for ASL. That's really cool.
That is awesome.
My teacher was actually deaf. She had lost her hearing when she was a kid because of meningitis.
Damn.
So she really knew what she was talking about. And it is learning a completely new language because the grammar structure is so different. Mm-hmm. It is nuts. Anyway, okay. Let me...
And I have the honor to be your obedient servant.
All right. Doesn't this... My mug looks like some Vans.
Your mug looks like it was made in a Tim Burton movie. Because it's gray with no color, but it has black and white checkers.
All right.
Margaret, give us that second story transition and take it away.
All right. So the Fuck. I've already fucked up.
Take your time.
All right, so the first story I'm going to read tonight is called The Wrong Room.
Interesting.
It's a real short one, so strap in. It's going to be quick and fast, and we don't want you going out the window when we break. Right, so...
That was interesting. I liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Thank you. It goes. You get back into your apartment after a long day's work, and you want to get inside and rest. You are about to pull out your keys and unlock the door, but you notice it's open. Turning the doorknob and stepping inside, you notice something different. You stand in the doorway trying to figure it out. Then it hit you. This isn't your room. As you turn and leave, something catches your eye. There's a man hunched over a dish of flesh, eating it with his bare hands, tearing into it as a wild animal would with its prey. Red dripped down the side of his mouth, and the smell that emanated from it was sickening. You were paralyzed by the sight.
Just gonna point out, it's his fucking room. You shouldn't be judging him so harshly. You're the intruder here.
Unconsciously, you start to cover your nose and mouth. This accidentally bumps your elbow against the doorway. You freeze. He stops eating there. He stopped eating. There was something wrong. Then he looks up and started searching for the source of the noise. His eyes scanned the room until they found you. Your legs start moving on their own, and you find yourself running away from that room and the horrors within it. The man silently stands up, locks the door, sits back down, grabs another slice of pizza, and mutters quietly to himself, "Crazy vegans."
That was funny. See, it's like two different perspectives. He seems like a monster, but he's really just eating pizza. Not a piece of a human being, which is what they definitely made it sound like.
Yeah, it's really freaking good. I liked it. But credit to Walrus King for writing that quick and dirty, sturdy.
Quick and dirty, sturdy. We appreciate it. All right, cool. So we're on number 3 now. We can take a little bit of a break. I am almost done with my drinky drinks, and then we'll run the ad over there on Twitch so we can match it up with YouTube and with the regular show. So cool.
No doubt.
No doubt indeed. All right. Bree Ball says, got my strap on and ready. Weird.
Hot.
All right. I Listener says, need to get me a Scaryish mug and the new pins. Stupid car engine needing replaced. That does suck.
It does suck. I mean, engines are thousands of dollars. It's nothing.
Yeah, I've thrown a rod in an engine and had it just be completely ruined once. And
what?
Yeah, I was driving home and I literally just got done telling my friend, like, I will be able to make it through college based off of my current finances as long as I don't have any big things happen like the car dying. And I drove home and like 10 minutes into the drive, like heard this horrible noise come from my engine. Every fucking light got thrown and I just came to a grinding halt. I got it towed. The guy went into it and told me, like, you threw a rod, it went through your whole engine, it's completely fucked. You need a new one. A new engine costs more than the car is worth. So I was like, what will you give it for? What will you give me if I just scrap the car to you? And he gave me a few $100. And then I wound up buying just like some super piece of shit car. So that was rough. Hailstorm says, nom nom snack time. Indeed. Pink Penguin says, car troubles are the stuff of nightmares. I swear I sweat every time I have to take my car in for an oil change. My least favorite thing is when you take your car in for something, and then when you go to pick your car up, after they told you it's ready, you get there and it's not ready, and they're like, so we found some stuff. Like, I instantly become defensive. I'm like, give me my fucking car. Because they typically lie through their teeth, at least here in Vegas.
You want to read the subs?
I already did.
You did?
Read all of them 35 minutes ago.
Oh, hey.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone, for subbing.
Lizdry says, Adam's disgusted face, LOL. It's pretty gross. Snark says, there's some horror in this room, without a doubt. Captain Vegas says, I feel the same way. I had an all-time low where I took my car to Firestone to get air for my tires. That's fucking funny because I didn't want to bother with the ones at the gas station. Pink Penguin said, half the time I take my car in and there's something that needs replaced besides the oil. I will usually tell people like, yo, I don't have the money for anything else. Like, so just change the oil, rotate the tires. I would do it myself if I had a garage because I used to live in apartments all the time. I'd be like, so if you find anything else, if it's not literally dangerous for me to drive the car away, I don't want to know about it. And they would just be like, all right, cool. I Am Beef Trainer says, we didn't have the rod or rods that broke get thrown from the engine, but the rods were definitely broken. That sucks. Jay Valor says, yo, Adam, me too. Exactly. Was like, Corolla, don't fail till I graduate. The bitch threw a rod on the freeway. Ugh. Mine was a Chevy Malibu. It was like a 94, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, I was like, it just needs to hold out for like 6 more months, man. And it did not. Enzo Matrix says it happened a few years ago, but one day they, in parentheses, Corp, came in, locked all the doors and said we are closed. Go to the office and collect your check and schedule a pickup for tools. Holy shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Pink Penguin says, I had a brake line burst on my old Honda Accord. I was super lucky because I had just driven on the highway at 65 to 70 miles per hour. The brake line burst when I was in a zone that had a 25 mile per hour speed limit. That's fucking terrifying. I remember I did something stupid and I was driving way too fast. It was my second car, my Cadillac Eldorado 94 for sure, which I purchased for myself after my first car got into a serious accident with me in it and I got a settlement from it. Anyways, I was driving on this road known as Roller Coaster Road back home because it has so many hills. And hills are fine until you get to a hill that's like short, but you're already going fast. And then you go, vroom, and you jump it. And I decided I was going to go as fast as that V8 engine North Star 32 valve engine could carry me. And I hit it at max speed. And I hit it, and like time kind of slows down when you've done something eternally stupid. And I was in the air. And you could just hear my engine like, brah, like it's waiting to touch the ground. Why do you keep opening the door?
I thought I heard the dog.
And I had enough time to look at my roommate, and we like turned and looked at each other like, No. And when I landed, it hit so fucking hard. It cracked my fuel pump and it flattened my brake lines.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was really fucking cold out. And then we were in the middle of nowhere. So I coasted to a stop and I wound up stopping near a stop sign like a mile and a half away. And I was just like, I'm going to call my parents. They're going to come get us. It's going to be fine. I called my parents and I told them I bottomed out really hard on this road and my car stopped. So they came and by the time they got there, like 35, 40 minutes later, we were literally freezing. Like we were in winter coats in my car and the windows were completely frosted over because it was like -5 at the time. And I was like, if they don't get here soon, we might die. So they came and actually saved us. That was fucking crazy. All right, I'm going to move over into Twitch and run the ad. If you are a sub on Twitch, you do not have to worry about seeing this ad. Excuse me, that is gross. If you do not watch us on Twitch like YouTube or Facebook, you do not have to worry about seeing this ad. It is just helpful. We gain a few cents from it, and it gives me a spot with dead air to mark when I do the YouTube video later and when I do the regular edit for the episode. So, okay, 1 minute ad coming at you right now.
Why are you so cute?
This doggo is so happy. No one can see her, though.
She's hidden by the microphone. No.
She's just off camera.
She is off camera. Oh, you're so cute dog. You're such a cute dog.
You're such a good dog, Kiwi.
You are a good dog, Kiwi.
Except when you pooped in the house. It sucks, too, because we've been gone so much. They've had, like, time where they're in the house alone, which they're not used to, because usually my mom is here. But she is back in Northwest Indiana. So there was, like, a brief period of time where they're just by themselves, in which we had to have people come and check on them.
Shout out to you guys for checking on them.
Yeah, shout out to Marsha. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to
Angela
and Jada. We appreciate all of you. Couldn't do it without you. Shout out to I Am Beef Trainer for resubscribing for the 12th month in a row. 18th month total. Says sending Spooky Fam amazingly positive vibes and love. Heart. Thank you. We appreciate that. Now she's going to whine to leave.
You want to go outside now? I'm not letting you outside.
Just open the door and she'll leave. You don't got to get her all amped up with the word outside.
Goodbye.
Go. Yeah, go. She knows the deal. She has to leave the room when I have my meetings, because if she doesn't, and she starts whining in the middle of me, like, presenting something, it's kind of embarrassing. They usually are fine with it, though. You're just never centered on your camera. Alright. I kind of want to put a projector over there. Can I do that?
Projector where?
Hang on. Everyone hang on. Everyone rewind the play. 10 minutes.
What?
There's a Whitest Kids You Know skit where, like, Lincoln starts yelling shit, and it's like how Abraham Lincoln really died.
Oh shit! Hey, look at that. That is cool.
You'll have a projector so you can see if you're centered or not.
All right.
Long story short, Lincoln is like in the skit is just this total fucking asshole who's just shouting shit out, and someone in the audience is like, "Could you please stop yelling things?" And so Lincoln starts screaming a bunch of horrible things at him, and then he yells at the people that are doing the play like, "Rewind the play 10 minutes because that motherfucker down there had to talk." It's so funny. Anyways,
Muhai over on YouTube says, "Hey, Adam and Robin, how are you guys? We're
What up,
good.
Muhai?
We're just busy, tired."
doing all right. We're about to get into the third story of the night. I'm going to hand over the mouse to Robin so she can take over. And yeah, this is her long one.
Oh, okay.
I knew you were going to question whether or not you're supposed to read. Oh, man.
All right. Welcome back. It's the other side of the episode. The fuck?
It's because the thing disappeared, isn't it?
No, it's because my brain's tired. This next story is titled "The Last Body I Ever Cut Open." So, you know, prep your butts for that.
I hope they're a doctor. Otherwise, it's going to get weird.
We'll find out. All right. Craig Brockwell was found by his wife, dead on their living room floor, a plastic garbage bag tied off around his neck and an empty bottle of Xanax on the kitchen counter next to a suicide note. My initial external examination of the body revealed no indications of a physical altercation with another person. Skin deep, the evidence was consistent with suicide by pills and suffocation. I was prepared to judge it such when Detective David Franklin requested an autopsy. "It just doesn't sit right with me," said
I like
David.
your detective voice. It's
Thanks.
so awesome.
Oh, thank you. I mean, this guy, he had it all. Pulling in millions, kid's a superstar on the ball court, Wife's a knockout. And then he goes and offs himself. I frowned. Depression can befall anyone, David, I said, and people can be quite adept to concealing it. At concealing it? At concealing it. Oh, God, I switched his voice. The main character's name is Jim. All right, we're going to change it from here.
Whoa.
Huh?
I said whoa.
Why?
Mind fuck.
Yeah, right? Sure, Jim. Sure. I get that. I guess that's not even what I'm talking about. It's just you weren't there at the scene. There was just... David looked around the room, though there was nobody else there. Something felt off. That's all. What do you mean, off? Is there some other evidence that I'm not aware of? David sighed. Look, let's just say you do this one for me. I'll owe you. I'll owe you. Take you out for beers later for a start. I looked down at Mr. Brockwell's corpse. Autopsies were invasive and expensive, and generally I avoided them unless there was a good reason to perform one. That was up to my discretion, but I supposed that a detective's intuition was a good enough reason. It's not like David made a habit of requesting autopsies. Okay, I said. I'll do the autopsy, but David, I don't drink. At the time, it was true that I didn't drink.
Oh, shit. Your voice for the detective reminds me of Tommy Boy when he's trying to sell the brake pads and he's still bad at it. And he, like, has the car collision because the brake pads don't work.
What the fuck?
And he's like, ambulance, here comes the meat wagon. And he's like, the guy gets out, takes a cigar out of his mouth, is like, oh my God. That's what I picture with your detective voice.
You're so stupid. Okay.
New guy's in the corner puking his guts out. Blah. All because you want to save a couple extra bucks on brake pads.
You're so goddamn.
The movie's so fucking good. It's on Netflix. Go check out Tommy Boy if you've never seen it and do yourself a favor. Chris Farley is a master of comedy. R.I.P.
I made an incision along the body's chest and set down my scalpel. I look at the lungs. Fuckity fuck. A look at the lungs would tell me whether or not suffocation had indeed been the cause of death.
Do you know what that definition is? Suffocation. No breathing.
You should have. I was talking to Liz earlier.
Of course.
And it was something else where it was, what is it called when you cut off someone's head?
Decapitation.
Yeah. So we were talking about something. Decapitation came up, and I was just like, decapitation. No breathing.
I guess you're right.
Anyway, I don't know why. I began to peel back the skin and muscle. As I did, I looked in shock to see that there was nothing there. When I say that there was nothing there, I mean that it was totally black, like peering into a completely dark space devoid of light. There should have been a ribcage there. There wasn't. There was nothing. I dropped the flaps of skin that I was holding and stood up. I shook my head. No, I thought, that's ridiculous. I knew that I had a headlamp around somewhere, so I went looking for it. I pulled open a drawer, and that's when everything became silent. We grow accustomed to them, but we're surrounded constantly by sounds. The slight buzz of the electric lights above us, the hum of the boiler in the basement, the sound of our own breath, the rustle of our clothes as we move.
The cars passing by constantly behind the office you're recording.
The sound of a drawer opening. None of it was there. It was as though I had gone completely deaf. I don't know why exactly, but I had a sudden urge to look at the body on my examination table. I turned my head, but it turned far slower than I intended, as though I were losing control of my body. Or time had slowed down, or the room had become thick with some invisible substance. The dead and naked body was just as I had left it, of course, with the incision along its chest and the skin there curled back slightly from where I'd begun to peel it. All at once, a rush of sound returned to my ears and my movements resumed their typical speed. I shook my head once again and turned back to the drawer. I found the headlamp, strapped it onto my head, and went back to the body. I flipped on the light, opened the skin up again, and gazed into utter darkness. There was nothing there. The darkness consumed the light.
And it made that sound.
Wouldn't that be terrifying?
No.
The darkness consumed the light from the headlamp. It seemed endless. I steadied myself and tore the skin back further. Instead of the rib cage and bits of tissue, there was only the nothingness.
Drop a quarter in. Wait till you hear it go kerblunk.
That's not what quarters sound like.
If they hit liquid.
They sound like chink, right?
If they hit rock or stone, or rock is stone.
What if the insides...
What?
I don't know. I tentatively...
He should go and get a fucking road flare and just chuck it into the sky.
I tentatively stuck a finger into it. As soon as I did, the silence returned and everything slowed down again. My finger felt incredibly cold, like touching dry ice. I withdrew it as quickly as I could, which was not very quickly at all. It was like coming out of quicksand, but once I was out, the expected pace of reality fell back into place. I have a feeling it's going to be something about the suicide note that he left. There's got to be something in there about what's going on here.
Swallowed a black hole. Can't do this anymore.
I jumped back and picked up my scalpel. I made a deep slice along the right thigh and pulled up the skin. More nothingness. I repeated the procedure on the left thigh to the same result. My hands were shaking and my mind was in blank shock. My mind was as empty as the body in front of me. Nothing could explain this. I walked around to the head and made a cut around the circumference of the crown, which is your skull. I peeled the flesh away and there was nothing. As I stared into it, I froze. I stood holding the severed scalp, staring into the nothingness, unable to do anything else. I don't know how long I was in that state, but the sound of David's voice snapped me out of it sometime later. God, okay. Let me prep for David here. How's it going on down there, Jim? I dropped the piece of dead flesh and hair that I had been holding and turned to look at David. This is very bizarre. I've never seen anything like this. I can't explain it. And how's that? Asked David. I pointed to the body. Just look, I said. So David walks across the room and peers into the darkness. What the fuck? He whispered.
I sincerely thought it was going to be like normal when he looked, but I'm glad it hasn't happened.
I don't know, I said. I don't know. David started reaching inside the head.
No.
No. I wouldn't do that, I cautioned. He ignored me and kept reaching. Then his hand was inside the head. He froze suddenly, except for his eyelids, which opened wide in shock. David, pull your hand out, now. David's eyes got even wider. He was trying to say something, but his lips wouldn't open. It came out muffled, but I had no doubt what he was trying to say. Help. All at once, David jerked forward 2 feet so that he was now into the body, up past his elbow. The look on his face grew even more frantic and desperate. I grabbed onto his other arm and yanked, but it was no good. The body was stronger and was pulling him in, now up to the bicep. I watched in pure horror as the head seemed to expand in size, as if it were growing larger so that it would suck in all of David. Instinct took over and I ran to my tray of tools. I grabbed my bone saw and switched it on as I made my way back to David. Oh no, I know what's going to happen. Oh God.
Gore warning.
Yep, gore trigger warning here. I applied the saw to his shoulder, which was now mere inches away from the terrible maw of nothingness. I drove the saw in furiously, blood splattering on my face, the muffled would-be screams of David trying to assert themselves over the whir of the saw. At last, I cut through the bone and David fell back on me, so that I hit the ground with him on top of me, and I could see the last of his severed arm disappear into the nothingness. Now that his lips would open again, David was wailing in agony. I rolled out from under him and went to work on cauterizing the wound, praying that he wouldn't die. I paused long enough to dial 911 and explain the need for help over the speakerphone function as I performed the surgery. That's so fucked up, okay. I sat by the hospital bed until David regained consciousness. He looked at me with terrified eyes and grabbed my wrist with his remaining hand, his fingernails digging into me. I saw it, David said. I still see it. Nothing. That is what I am, and what you are, everything, is nothing. I broke free of his grip. That's absurd, I said. I don't know how to explain that body, but I know that I am not nothing.
You just had to cut the guy's arm off, like humor him a little bit.
David started laughing then. I left him at the hospital, went home, and had my first drink in 2 years. I knew that it was a horrible mistake, but I did it anyway, to wash away the horror. When I was drunk enough, I resolved to return to the morgue, determined to burn Craig Brockwell's body. I got in my car, like a monster, and drove, weaving across the road. When I arrived, I flung the door open, my mind and body overtaken by the alcohol. I looked into the room, and even through my drunken haze, it registered that something was very, very wrong. The body was gone. Craig Brockwell's attempted autopsy happened 10 years ago. For a year afterwards, I drank. I lost my job, refusing to return back to work. I burned through my savings, and by the end of the year, I had hit rock bottom, as it's called. That was shortly after Detective David Franklin committed suicide. Now I have my life back together. I still have nightmares, but I have, for the most part, put the incident behind me. I have a loving family and a new career. I cannot express how grateful I am for this new life, but yesterday I saw something. I left my office at 5 p.m. as usual and walked across the parking lot to my car. I got in, started it up, and checked my rearview mirror. Standing there was a man. It was unmistakably David Franklin. I turned my head and looked out the back window. He was still there. He opened his mouth, and there inside was endless darkness. The world grew silent, and I watched, unable to move, as he lifted his only arm and pointed a finger at me. Then he turned and walked away. End of story.
Pretty fucked up.
Pretty fucked up. Credit to Nathaniel Lewis. Thank you for writing such a fucked up and amazing story. I really enjoyed it. It is totally up my alley.
Because it's so fucked up.
Because it's so fucked up. It's a good one. I like it. If they turned it into a movie, I would watch it. Or like a Twilight Zone episode or something.
It's almost like the emptiness, the nothingness is infectious. Obviously because at this point David has it. But why in the hell would you put your hand into someone's empty head? You know what I mean?
Curiosity killed the
throw
cat.
stuff in there first. Quarters, road flares. Who the fuck knows? Like a 2x4. See if there's a capacity within this body before you start reaching your hand into it, David. Good Lord.
Now all I can think of is Clifford Franklin.
Wow. I guess. But all right. Good stuff. Cool. Let's look over into Stream Chat. See what you folks had to say. I've seen a lot of what the fucks going on with this story, and I couldn't agree more.
It's a good story. I really like it.
Hailstorm says that story was iconic. Interesting way to describe it. Hailstorm says, fuck this story. Captain Vega says, what the heck? Enzo Matrix says, fuck you, David Franklin. Enzo Matrix says, this reminds me of an 80s/90s horror movie. Captain Vega says, what if Dave was just playing a prank? The old, oh no, it's got my arm business. I think he would have pulled it out before he got his arm cut off for sure.
I mean, but how far, you know what I mean? How
Maybe he was super committed to the joke. He was like, I'm going to lose this arm, but it's going to be fucking hilarious. Sometimes you got to do stuff if you know it's going to be funny. Muhai says, Adam on mosquito watch. Not sure what that's regarding. I'm going to keep scrolling. Muhai says, I love that skit. He's breaking my butt. That I think they say that's the revelation that you find out once you see Abraham Lincoln yelling at the guy in the audience for long enough in that skit. The guy is like, I'm going to go kill him with a hammer. And he goes up there and he keeps hitting him in the butt with a hammer. He's like, he's hammering my ass.
Oh, what the fuck?
So stupid. It's funny though.
Oh my god.
Captain Vega says, Watson got pissed, jumped off the bed and left. Somehow he closed the door to my bedroom. That's a pretty talented cat. Pink Penguin said, Robin's going all out. Sure is. Keep scrolling. Liz Tree says, I love Robin's dedication to the characters. Enzo Matrix says, this Robin voice is amazing.
I tried. I'm really not good at voices, so it's hard for me. But it was fun.
I think you're really good at voices, actually.
Really?
Captain Vegas says, don't think he intends it because he is now screaming on the other side to be let in. That's a cat for you. I'm going to keep scrolling. Glitch says, LOL, I love this, with a bunch of Robin laughing emojis. I once here says, I just watched a YouTube video today which explained that the head is still conscious for about 30 seconds after being cut off.
Yep.
As I was a kid, people used to say 10 seconds and no one ever believed them. And then you get old and you find out that it's apparently true, which is haunting as fuck. Everyone's saying it's horrifying, that they're going to have nightmares. Scrolling. Pink Penguin says, what a terrible day to be literate.
Captain Fake Eye says, here's a funnier fact. Dead bodies sometimes fart.
There's an episode of South Park where they get a Walmart. And they make a bet whether or not dead bodies shit themselves.
They do.
And every single person that dies that episode shits themselves so furiously their pants blow off. It's so funny.
That's horrible.
All right, gonna keep scrolling.
Glitch says, well, fantastic. I will have amazing dreams. You're welcome.
Glitch also says, I might lose power. The storm is getting baddish, windy, and very loud. Let's hope you don't lose power. Keep scrolling. IMB Trainer says that they... kick and punch when they are having bad dreams, which sucks for what's for dinner.
I had a dream that Adam died, and I watched it happen, and it was traumatic as fuck. The next day, I told him not to walk downstairs.
She took my socks from me. She's like, you're not allowed to put on your socks till you get downstairs. Elizabeth says, reminds me of that box video that was shared on the Facebook page a year-ish ago.
Box video?
I don't know.
I don't remember it.
I've been taking down the videos and posts from people who are not part of the community and don't participate. They're only advertising for their own pages and their own projects because it states explicitly in the rules you're not allowed to do that. It is one thing if one of you guys who shows up and actively participates is like, hey, I'd like to share something that I worked on, because we support you guys the same way you support us. But it's another thing for someone who's just like going through all the groups and looking for anything that's like marked horror or paranormal, and they're just like, just gonna jump in here and spam my fucking shit. So I probably didn't watch it because I probably deleted it. Endomatrix says that's a fucked up short in reference to the box video one.
Ah.
All right. Cool. What the fuck is this? Now all of a sudden...
That's a stock.
Microsoft is showing me stock market stuff for something that I don't even have stocks in. Oh, it's the NASDAQ. That's why.
Holy crap. That's a... Oh, no.
It's a dip. You'll be fine. The DJI... the
It's
Dow
almost
Jones
2%.
Index is fine. It's at 36. And on top of that, NASDAQ, like, the normal stuff that you invest in, like a 10-year average for return is 10%. That was Numeria.
Yep.
Do you want to go try and let them out? I'm asking if you want to. I'm not saying you have to. Stop acting angry. I've been doing it all fucking day. All right. Gonna mark it. Gonna move into the last story and hope there's not shit on the ground when we're done. They can't see how lovely this looks. Ow! I'm happy that you bit my ring, because that hurt. Miss Nebula says, popping in just to say, I love you guys. I always miss your live sessions, but I got this one. Keep on creeping on. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate that. All right. Let's get going on the final story, and it is short, so you don't have to strap on too hard. Don't tighten that thing on too much.
I mean, all right.
I'm going to let you finish pouring so I don't have to edit that stuff out.
Makes me feel like I have to pee. The pouring. Don't you ever, when you hear the sound of water?
If
like,
I already have to pee and I hear the sound of water, then I might think about it. Aside from that, I'm okay usually.
When we were at the Japanese garden and the waterfall and stuff, I was like, man, I really have to pee.
I was like, this is pretty. I'm going to take some pictures. Glitch says, need to watch Facebook more now. Don't even worry about that. We got some folks over there on Facebook, too. We have Christina Vasquez and Jeremiah, who are moderators there as well, aside from me. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move into the final story of the...
ASB Bunny says, wait, you're still alive? Yeah, we're still alive.
I'm in the middle of doing my thing. Get the fuck off me. Daylight savings time. Get out of here. No. Stop it. Get back to your side. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move into my last and the last story of the show, and this one's called The Houseboat. And it's going like this, and it's short, just FYI. In a private terminal at the Port of Boston, there is a houseboat. This houseboat has been anchored there permanently for at least 50 years.
What?
The eccentric owner has maintained all fees and taxes and is in good standing with the Port Authority. Still, even if the owner wasn't financially responsible, no one would ask them to depart. Despite the owner's friendly, hospitable, if odd nature, there is a persistent air of unease around the boat and the area of the port surrounding. Very few people have taken the owner up on offers of hospitality, but those who do recount a wholly unbelievable tale. When you step into the houseboat, It's as if you are sent back 50 years in time.
What?
Looking out windows depicts a cityscape of antiquity, and the television receives live broadcasts of programs of the era, including news programs.
That's cool.
If you look out the open door, you see the city as it stands today. When the door closes, you can see the 50-year-old skyline through the port opening. Some visitors who spend time with the owner notice something particularly disturbing, an almost uncanny resemblance to their host despite obvious age differences. Though this is odd, the owner is friendly and trustworthy, ignoring the air of unease most feel, so it isn't surprising if casual friendships build between a guest and the proprietor. All of this, of course, would be very strange. All of this, of course, it just says B. Fuck. All of this would, of course, be very strange and worthy of note, but dismissed as some form of elaborate hoax or illusion if it weren't for one additional detail. Whenever someone elects to spend the night in this houseboat after an evening of conversation and a few drinks, they are never heard from again. When the guest awakens in the morning, the owner is nowhere to be found, and suddenly, the city skyline never changes its back to its contemporary appearance when exiting the boat. Under the bed, there is a briefcase full of $100 bills with a letter stapled to a list. The letter simply reads, "You have 50 years to follow these instructions if you wish to free yourself from this hell. The clock is ticking. Get to work."
That is horrifying. It's like, what is it?
11/22/63?
Yeah, something like that.
Except he could actually go back whenever the fuck he wanted.
Yeah.
In this case, you are just stuck there. But I do like the idea of time loops, so that one really appealed to me. And I feel like the reason people decide to stay there is because they're told the truth of what it is. And there's like something that they're promised, like riches, or just the knowledge of traveling back 50 years in the past, where you can pull the old Biff Tannen and bet on all the sporting events.
What's 50 years back from now?
1971.
Right before World War, or not World
Nope,
War.
way
Vietnam
after.
War.
Nope.
Vietnam War is 1973.
It's about to come to an end.
Oh, is when in 1973 is when it ends.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. No, I wouldn't want to. Would I want to be born into that time? I feel like I would be.
It's different between being born into that time
being
and
sent
being
back.
sent back to that time.
Okay, if I'm my age now, sent back to the 1970s, I would not like it. Not my bag, baby.
Yeah, especially for you, because all the dudes had sideburns on their wieners. It was just that era.
Did they?
It's a joke from the movie Bulletproof with Adam Sandler and Damon Wayans. He goes, I can tell this is 70s porno. The guy's dick has sideburns.
Ew.
No, it's a joke. Obviously, it's a joke.
But it's just like not, I don't know. I'm spoiled. I live in the 21st century.
Send me back, man, because I know most of the sporting events now they're going to turn out, and I will bet on all that shit.
I will bet on the 85 Bears. That's the only one I know.
Okay, cool. I know a lot. So it just depends on what that list states. I wonder what is on that list. Hopefully it's nothing too terrible. Hopefully it's just like accomplish these ridiculous tasks like go to the moon, which would be rather difficult. Like stand atop the Eiffel Tower and kiss the most beautiful woman in the world or some crazy shit like that. But you have 50 years to do it, so who knows? It's a good one. It's thought-provoking, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. It's the end of the stories. Let's move over into some marbles. And
I am going to be packaging up the rewards for people that have won the past few weeks. It's just been really busy, so I've been real behind. I still need to send out Patreon rewards. There are people that have been at the goodies, like the goodie package tier, that I need to package your packages up. So I'm really thankful that you guys are really patient with me because it's been so rough. But I'll get there, and I have all the Patreon packages that I need to do for this next season with the keychain. I still need to order lanyards for you folks. There's a lot that needs to get done, and I will get it done. Please be patient.
Cool. All right. Ghost Dunk says, damn, I just looked it up in the story of the scientist who was sent to the guillotine that told his friend that he was going to try and blink after being beheaded is an urban myth. Didn't know that. ASB Bunny says, yay, I thought I slept through the whole live stream. No, you didn't. I'm watching. Says, Robin is still alive. Adam looks like he may be undead, though. Nah, dude, I look good. I'm Beatrice says, I'm freezing. Scaryish hoodie is on, and I'm snuggling inside it to the point of looking similar to a turtle half hiding in its shell, and I have a blanket on me as well.
Did you ever watch Master of Disguise?
No, I didn't.
There's one outfit that he wears where he's like a little
turtle.
Yeah,
I remember the commercial for it. All right. Coach Grimm says, I want cold. Same. It was so nice being in the Pacific Northwest for like 5 days.
It
was cold and rainy, and I got to open the window and cool off the room.
Constantly wet.
It was so nice.
And my skin felt amazing.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
My skin felt absolutely amazing, but nothing ever dried. Like the towels, I feel like never dried. There was one point where a glass had been rinsed, and none of us realized it.
It just didn't dry in the air.
And we thought it didn't dry because of how wet it is there. And it was freaking hilarious. But I love the rain. I love the cold. It was awesome. Sleeping with the window open and not having to worry about air conditioning was great. 10 out of 10 experience.
Indeed. All right. I am starting up marbles. Don't poke me in the ear, please.
Do you like it if I rub it?
Rub my ear?
Not
really. You can touch my earlobe, I guess. Yeah, there we go. That's getting it.
You got a hair growing out of it.
I got a lot of hair growing out of my ears nowadays. Ow. You're feeling the spot where I used to have my piercing when I was cool back in 6th grade.
Your earlobes are so dry.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Maybe moisturize.
They can't hear you. You have no microphone in front of your face. You realize that, right? All right, go ahead and type an exclamation point vote, then a space, and the number that corresponds to the track you would like to race. Don't forget to tip your waitress. The name is Rebecca. It's from a South Park episode.
Oh.
Where they're little detectives, and they go pew, 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 pew. And then somehow, for some reason, the cops decide to actually hire them, but they don't give them guns. And they send them to investigate like a drug lord at a strip club. And there's a huge shootout, and during the shootout, the guy's still telling people to tip their waitresses. Lots of shooting going on, people are dying. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Her name is Rebecca. You gonna vote?
Yeah, sure.
Participate in the democratic process. Process has a T in it. Oh, man. After this, I'm gonna go downstairs, eat a Baconator, come back upstairs, and probably just go to fucking sleep, man. Oh my god, I can hear my own voice, and I hate it.
I hate it too.
I don't know how I edit the show sometimes. Also, fuck you. I'm gonna vote the track number that corresponds to the age I wish I was.
15.
36. Because I love who I am right now and where I am at in life.
I'm feeling
despite my depression trying to convince me otherwise. And winning sometimes.
What is your favorite Tay-Tay No Play?
That is a huge question.
Is it?
Fuck yeah. I don't know. It's really hard. I really like wow. Some of the OG shit.
Like she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts.
That was not bad. I also really like
Why You Gotta Be So Mean, or
Rude. It's called Rude. Why You Gotta Be So Rude. I like Rude.
No. Why You Gotta Be So Rude is a different song.
Oh yeah, you're right. God, what is it? Okay, I can't remember. I haven't listened to him in a long time, but I like a lot of Tay-Tay. She no play. And then the Juliet song, the Romeo and Juliet song. Because it has a happy ending. It's so sweet. All right. Enemy at the Gates is also a great movie with Ed Harris and Jude Law and Rachel Weisz. And it's the track we were probably going to race, depending on how many votes it has. I think those are the characters that are, and the names of the actors that are in that movie. Pretty sure. But I haven't seen it in like 20 years. It's called Enemy at the Gates.
I'm gonna put in 32 because I'm feeling 32.
God,
Thank you so much, Bree Ball, for joining us. Have a good night.
Bye. I'm so glad we don't do the switch seats thing anymore.
Yeah, me too.
Or the silly voices. All right, we're going with Enemy at the Gates. It already has 8 votes. Average time to complete it for everyone, 1:47. Record time, 1:03. On average, we finish it. We haven't raced it yet. Let's race it. Let's get in there. Let's do it.
Enemy of the Gates. This one's
Enemy at the Gates.
Oh.
Exclamation point play. Oh my god, there's like a trailer unveiling it. This is fucking toit.
All right. Cool. This one looks sweet. I'm down. I'm excited.
All right, I gotta scooch this shit out of the way and get my keyboard up here.
Oh, okay. What noises are those? There's only 12 marbles. There's gotta be more of y'all out there.
Exclamation point play.
This is just a thing we do at the end of our streams to kind of spend a little bit more time with you instead of just logging off.
And to wind down, sometimes we have emails that get sent to us that are like super heavy, and it's nice to not just turn everyone out super depressed and upset from those. So, gonna move this down to 45 seconds since we already have most of the marbles in there. We got 17. And don't forget, exclamation point play if you want a chance to win some free merch.
I miss being 17.
I don't at all. I miss how I looked when I was 26, but I honestly think that if I got back on the workout regimen that I was at 26, I would look better now than I did then. Will you stop? They're audible now. All right, 20 seconds left. Just being quiet. That way any weird noises that happened in the office can be heard by everyone.
My tummy hurts.
All right, we're up to 18 marbles in the race.
I think I had too much dairy.
Getting ready to cut loose.
Foot loose. Something. Oh, kick off your Sunday shoes.
Correct. Jeez Louise. That's the next lead.
Get on your front shoes.
Wow.
Whoa, this thing is sweet.
And super interactive. I love it. Everyone's really tight right now, but Lizard Tree is at the front. Ghost Dunk's right behind. Bringing up the rear is Robin, but we all know that things can happen and people can take the lead pretty quickly on all these different tracks.
I know.
She's going the outside track. Holy shit, she's passing on the outside. It's like cold trickle. Nefcore has fallen off, unfortunately. Glitch has taken the lead with Enzo Matrix overtaking him almost immediately. And let's just go ahead and back up and see if anyone hits the jump.
God! Oh, no.
Red Keto was like, fuck this track. And so did the Snarked and I think Merlin Valor. Enzo Matrix is still in the lead. Here goes
shit,
Robin,
look at me!
who was in last
Look
place
at
a
me.
second ago.
Look at me
Going right through the spot where you can fall off the edge. This looks like a snake now. I feel like someone's going to pop up and be like, very much alive. All right, Elizabeth Tree on What's for Dinner, Jang Me, Brandon, Pink
Goodbye,
Penguin, and
Malin.
me. ASB Bunny as well. Oh, we're all falling. We're dropping like flies. Ghost Dunk still around, so is Latreia. Excuse me, Latreia. I think first place right now is Robin still. This game sucks.
Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the police.
There is a fan, though, and some pulsating rods that could change up what's going to happen. I really like this track, actually. Enzo Matrix tried to take that shortcut through the fan blade and didn't quite make it. Glitch also tried to make that shortcut. Dinosaur is going to come down here.
No!
Enzo Matrix is in first place, but... Ooh, A Meadow's taking a really good line through.
Oh
shit.
my god. Oh my god.
She strolls right past Enzo Matrix and takes the victory. Congratulations, Amanda. Enzo got hit by a pulsating rod and launched to hell. Glitch is going to take second. And we don't know if anyone else is going to finish, but we'll just sit right here and watch.
That was a freaking sweet-ass win.
Dinosaur got knocked off, unfortunately. So now it's left to Ghost Dunk and Robin. Robin has also been knocked off. Ghost Dunk is the only one left, navigates it, and we only had 3 marbles complete the track, meaning A Meadows goes up to 7 points, Glitch goes up to 5 on the season, Ghost Dunk goes up to 3. Still in the lead, I think, is me, at 9, which is cool. I'm What's in Here is right there as well with 8.
Brandon Chicken says, I swear Glitch is always top 5.
Excuse me,
I
I'm
feel
sorry.
like Glitch struggles a lot, too. It doesn't always win.
Yeah, he has good nights, he has bad nights.
Glitch
Exclamation
says,
point
as long
vote.
as Robin didn't win, I'm happy. Lol, JK, JK.
Thank you.
JK. Blue.
Exclamation point vote.
Ghost Dunk says, the 2 best words in the English language. D and fault.
It's from Simpsons.
What?
Homer wins because of default. And he keeps chanting, default, default, default. And the guy hits him with a slapjack.
That just reminds me of Family Guy when Peter gets an audit from the IRS. And he opens up his letter and it says audit. And he's like, oh, he doesn't say,
You're gonna
oh,
give
shit.
me an Audi.
He's like, oh, I'm getting an Audi. And Brian's just like, no, Peter, that says audit. Such fucking, oh my God.
All right, Cosmic Chaos is currently in the lead. We'll let it scroll for a little bit longer and see. Let's go ahead and click and see local stats to see which tracks we have and have not raced in case that there's anyone out there who hasn't voted yet and it will affect their vote. Pink Penguin says, LMAO, Family Guy is my guilty pleasure. There is a tie right now.
Well, let's see. What is a guilty pleasure for you?
Taylor Swift.
Guilty pleasure for me would be watching 50 Shades.
That's not even guilty for you.
What?
You're not embarrassed about it. You talk about it all the time.
Okay.
I guess that means Taylor Swift isn't embarrassing or isn't a guilty pleasure for me because I was talking about it. Enemy at the Gates is tied again with Cosmic Chaos. They're tied at 3. Right now, A Meadows, who was our winner, has not voted. However, if A. Meadows votes and it remains a tie, whatever track she votes for will be the track we race. If she does not vote, I will click random and we will get a random ass track. Enzo Matrix says we should do the local tracks sooner. I also prefer to switch it over to local so we could see which ones, but I also like to see season stats for like the entire thing. It is tied, and Amanda voted for Enemy at the Gates. So interesting. Now Cosmic Chaos is winning. We'll see what it's like when it scrolls back to those two, and we're going to go from there. Because it's already 8:09. I'm hungry. I'm tired. Could go for a cry, I think.
Trying to think of what other things I can consider a guilty pleasure, because I tell you guys really everything that
I'm an open book. I says I don't think we should do the same track twice. Hey man, majority rules. Unless it's a tie. Then the winner rules. Looks like Cosmic Chaos is going to take it. We've already raced it. Let's go ahead and check out, on average, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Record time, minute 53. For us, record time is me, 2:05. Come and try and get this record.
Chaos always chosen?
I don't know. It's funny, too, because people are like, I don't want to race the same track twice. But we wind up racing the same tracks over and over and over week to week. So, either way, it's the winner, though. Majority rules. Ghost Dunk says, eating White Castle casually makes me cry. That would take a while.
Usually makes me cry.
Oh, I thought it said casually. Pink Penguin says, sending good vibes your way, Adam. I appreciate it. I'm
Westerner says, my guilty pleasure is It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. I don't know. What is... I mean... Something that I watch or listen to, or something that's just embarrassing. You know, it's probably spaghetti with butter, Parmesan, and hot dogs. Fucking cut up hot dogs in my spaghetti. That is a guilty pleasure. Does that count?
Yeah. I could say that counts.
Fuck yeah. Unhealthy, crappy meals that I grew up eating.
God damn, dude. Just a lot of missed notifications during the show. We are at 20 marbles. That is really impressive because we only had 18 for the first one. Yet. Chunkster just became 21. I'm going to go ahead and give us a 45-second countdown. I apologize for looking at my phone.
I'm 22. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
It's funny. I like 36. I do like 36. You know, just there's just certain things about the aspects of American life that I'm experiencing that are a pain in the fucking ass. And it doesn't have to be this hard. People are idiots. You know what I mean? So I think everyone has to deal with that. And it doesn't mean everything's bad. It just means sometimes you just get to a point where you're like, man, I've been dealing with idiots for a while. And you're kind of fatigued. It's like, I think I'm going to go ahead and move myself somewhere where I don't have to deal with stupidity. Just makes things a lot easier. 5 seconds left.
Chunster says, my guilty pleasure is eating mac and cheese with ketchup.
A lot of folks eat cheesy products with ketchup, and I don't hold it against you. It is something that I don't do. So yes, you are a weirdo to me, but I love weirdos, so that's okay. All right, let's stare at the hole and see who gets through first.
It's raining men.
Chunk says, "Oh, my boyfriend looks at me weird when I say I put ketchup on mac and cheese." Pink Penguin says, "I'm still a fan of eating an entire box of mac and cheese."
I still like fucking pastaroni.
Oh, pastaroni is fucking
pastaroni, good. Hamburger Helper. I like.
Don't like shit. Hamburger Helper anymore.
You're fucking nuts.
Don't know when it happened. It was recent though. Can't do it anymore.
Enzo Matrix says hashtag Ronies and juice. ASV Bunny says my guilty food pleasure is fries dipped in ice cream or mixing veggies into my mashed potatoes and covering it with ketchup.
Right on.
Cold
hot dogs.
Fries dipped in the fucking Frosties from Wendy's, who never has fucking baked potatoes.
Damn, it keeps coming back to fucking Wendy's.
Those are
Dave
good.
Thomas would be rolling in his goddamn grave if he heard all this hate. The guy who created Wendy's. You don't remember all the commercial with Dave Thomas? Latrea's like way out in the lead, but these pegs are starting to slow her down. I'm also starting to catch up, which is great because Robin was in the lead for a second there.
Ghost Dunk says I prepared Hamburger Helper as directed and it destroyed my body.
That sucks. All right, we're coming down to the final stretch here. Latreia is still in the lead pretty
Gusto
healthily.
says, I liked school lunch.
There are certain lunches at school that people really liked.
I remember shitty pizza.
I do too. I hated the pizza at school. They had like regular pizza slices, and then they had pizza day where it was like the same shape as the slot in your tray. And I fucking hated that pizza, and everyone else acted like it was good.
Worst.
I couldn't fucking stand it.
Oh, shit.
Latreia and Dawn really tried hard to take that record from me, but you didn't get it. But you got the victory. Congratulations, Latreia. Dawn comes in second. I am B-Train in third.
Says Wendy's burgers are square because they don't cut corners.
That's funny. Wendy's burgers are actually square because they want to show off the meat.
In Hawaii, I think in elementary school, because I didn't have middle school at a regular school, they did for lunch you would get these like pyramid looking things. Have you ever seen the sour cream packages from Wendy's?
No.
Okay. Sour cream comes in a little tiny triangular little pyramid looking package. And that's what we would get with our lunch, not sour cream. And it would be like a frozen popsicle. So you had to peel this triangular little package open, and it was a frozen juice. And it
Action Phase on is running from this blue wave right now.
That stuff was good. Totally unhealthy for kids, but it was very good. All
right.
ASB says Adam just scared the hell out of the 3 cats sleeping on my bed.
Sorry, got excited. Latreia, congratulations for taking the victory. Type in ! merch and pick yourself a sticker over there at Robin's Quiet Corner that is Scaryish themed. You also get 9 points for the season. Donosaur moves up to 9 points as well. I move up to 12. Suck it.
Elizabeth Tree says my parents were too poor to pay for school lunches, but too proud to apply for free/discount lunches. I grew up in poverty, so I had free lunches when I was in school.
I occasionally had free lunches as well. There was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's all they gave you. It looked like an ice cream sandwich, but it was peanut butter and jelly. That's all we had. That was the free lunch.
What?
Yeah, that's all we got.
You didn't get the same lunch as all the other kids?
No, absolutely not.
What?
Yeah, they made sure that all the kids that couldn't afford lunch were eating this really horrible peanut butter and jelly sandwich so everyone else could make fun of them for being poor. And I definitely had that multiple times.
For me, it was just like you got a card at the beginning of the month or the week or whatever, and you would go through the lunch line with everyone else, and after you picked up your food from the little window, right, in the line, you picked it up from the window, you turned around, someone stamped your card, and then you left.
Nope, we didn't have anything like that.
What the fuck?
Yep. Yeah, everyone else can see the point totals here, so that's where it's going to end. But yeah, we had different things in Indiana.
Weird.
Indeed. So let's go ahead and move us over back to the normal screen. And we're going to wrap this shit up, dogs. Got that square burger downstairs calling my name. And hopefully the dogs haven't torn apart the house. So I want to thank everyone who watched this live. You all are just amazing. You make these episodes so much fun to record. And if you've never joined us for a live show, we do it at twitch.tv/Scaryish Podcast and youtube.com/Scaryish every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. That is Pacific time.
If anybody wants to give me some voice actor work, feel free to hit me up. I'm down.
Hit us up. We'd love to do it. I have an isolation chamber I can bust out. It'll be a fun time. On top of that, if you would like to reach out to us to either recommend a creepypasta, send us your own, or send us a true story that has happened to you, we would love to hear from you. You can email storytime@scaryish.com for the true stories. For creepypasta-related things, you can email pastatime@scaryish.com, or go to our website, scaryish.com. Click on Contact Us, fill out that form. It does come directly to us, or hit us up on our social medias. Facebook.com/Scaryish Podcast is our Facebook page, and you can also watch the live shows there. And you can also hit us up on Twitter, which is @ScarishPod, or Instagram, which is @ScarishPodcast. Either way, we would love to hear from you. Robin, for folks who would like to donate to us, how can they do so?
You can go to patreon.com/Scaryish Podcast and go to Those are monthly donations. Tiers start at $1. At $1, you get ad-free episodes, which you can't go wrong with ad-free.
Ad-free is the way to be.
You can also go over to Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Scaryish Podcast, and those are one-time donations if you're not into the whole monthly donation type thing. And yeah.
Indeed. Shout out to all the spooky friends who watch. Shout out to Pink Penguin. You're pretty awesome. Don't ever doubt that. And that's everything that we have for this episode. So go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
I want to shove this in your mouth so bad. Just
Bye.